Hello friends, today we are going to see the third part in testing of IC engine where we will see some numericals. So let's start today's video. So first problem is a single cylinder engine. So we come to know that there is only one cylinder. So given data, a single cylinder engine running at 2000 RPM. So speed is given, develop a torque of 10 Newton meters. So torque is given. The indicated power of the engine. So IP is also given, that is 2.3 kilowatt. Find the loss due to friction power as the percentage of brake power. It means we have to find out friction power, and that friction power should be divided by brake power. So we get friction power as the percentage of brake power. So first we have to find out the friction power, loss due to friction power, and second also calculate a mechanical efficiency of the engine. So second is mechanical efficiency. So here I am not going to solve each and every step. I am just giving a hint how the numerical can be solved. Okay. So I am just showing the flow chart in terms of formulas. So let's go ahead. So this is our given data. Single cylinder speed is 2000, torque is 10 Newton meter, and integrated power is 2.3 kilowatt. So first, loss due to friction. But this is not only the friction power, we have to calculate as a percentage of brake power. So percentage loss of friction power as of brake power. So we will have the formula friction power divided by brake power, and as it is asked in percentage, so multiply by 100. So we required two data, friction power as well as brake power. So friction power, we know that friction power is difference of IP and BP. So indicated power minus brake power, it gives the value of friction power. Indicated power is already given. So ultimately we have to find out the brake power. So brake power, the simple single formula, that is 2 pi and T. Here n speed is given, T torque is also given. So it is very easy to find out brake power. Once we get the value of brake power, then we can find out friction power. Once we do having that friction power as well as brake power, then put in a formula. So we get a percentage loss of friction power as of brake power, and brake power comes 2.0944 kilowatt. So friction power will be 0.2056, and if I put both the values in formula, so percentage loss will be 9.810. So in terms of brake power, as a brake power, friction power loss is about 10%, that is 9.8%. And next part is mechanical efficiency. So mechanical efficiency, we know what is the formula of mechanical efficiency. So mechanical efficiency is brake power upon indicated power. We have a value of brake power just in a answer of first we calculated it, and IP is given, so put the value. So we come to know that our mechanical efficiency is 91.06. Now the second numerical, the following data were recorded in a test 1 hour duration. That's means whatever be the data is given, it is for 1 hour duration on a single cylinder oil engine. So number of cylinder is 1, time for duration is 1 hour, then 4-stroke engine. So it is very important whether your engine is 4-stroke or 2-stroke, because we have to consider it when calculating indicated power. Now along with this, the data is given, that is bore diameter 300 mm, stroke of cylinder, that is 450 mm, fuel use 8.8 kg, but this 8.8 kg is used in 1 hour. So mass of fuel is 8.8 kg in 1 hour. Then we can convert it in kg per minute or kg per second also. Calorific value of fuel is 41800 kilojoule per kg. Average speed, so N is given 200 rpm. Mean effective pressure, so they directly given a mean effective pressure rather than giving area of indicator diagram, length of indicator diagram, and spring constant. So they provided directly mean effective pressure 5.8 bar. Brake friction load. So net load on brake drum, it is given 1860 Newton. Quantity of cooling water is given. So mass of water flowing is a 650 kg, but this 650 kg is in 1 hour. Then temperature rise of this cooling water is 22 degrees centigrade, and diameter of brake wheel is given 1.22 meter. So we have to calculate first heat balance sheet on kilowatt basis. So kilowatt means kilojoule per second. So heat supplied is equals to MF, mass of fuel consumption, multiplied by CV. So QS, heat supplied, MF into CV. MF, as we are drawing this heat balance sheet on kilowatt basis, that means kilojoule per second. So MF should be kg per second. Here MF is given in 8.8 kg per hour. So we have to convert into kg per second. Calorific value, it is given that 41800 kilojoule per kg. So kept as it is. So multiplication of MF into CV, it will give 102.18 kilowatt. So when we multiply mass of fuel flow rate multiply by CV, so kg get cancel and remaining kilojoule per second as per the unit. So kilojoule per second is nothing but a kilowatt. If our heat balance sheet is to be drawn on the basis of kilojoule per minute, then whatever be the value comes 102.18, we have to multiply by 60, then it will be kilojoule per minute. Now this is heat supply. Second part, heat utilization. So heat utilized in converting brake power. So heat equivalent to brake power. Brake power having a single formula, that is 2 pi NT. N is given 200 rpm. Now the question is about a torque. Now to calculate torque, we require a brake load and offset distance. So brake load is given, that is 1860, and offset distance is the radius of that brake drum. So 1.22 meter is a diameter, so we will make it half. It will be a radius of brake drum. So product of W into RB, that is brake drum radius, will give the value of torque. Once we have a value of torque, then it is very easy to calculate a brake power. And brake power value comes 23.76 kilowatt. Now the second, heat carried out by cooling water. How to decide which head we have to calculate? If there is some data given in a numerical related to cooling water, then definitely we have to calculate heat carried out by cooling water. So here mass flow rate of cooling water is given. A rise in temperature of cooling water is given. That means we have to calculate this head also, heat carried out by cooling water. So it is MCP delta T, the very well-known formula how to calculate heat. So heat is MCP delta T. So heat carried out by cooling water is equals to mass flow rate of water multiplied by Cp of water multiplied by temperature rise of that cooling water. Cp of water is not given because it is a very standard value, 4.187. So we have to use that standard value. Mass flow rate is given 650 kg per hour, and we are interested to find out the value on the basis of second, that means kilojoule per second or kilowatt. So mass flow rate must be converted into kg per second. Cp, it is having a standard value 4.187 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and temperature rise, it is already given 22. So temperature rise, that means the outlet temperature minus inlet temperature. So it is a difference of temperatures of cooling water. So it is 22. So either you go with a degree centigrade or go with a Kelvin, the difference, temperature difference remains same. So we have to consider what is the temperature rise. It is 22. So once we put all these values, so remaining part is the calculation, calci work. So it gives a 16.63 kilowatt. Now they don't provide any data regarding exhaust gases. So we are unable to calculate heat carried away by exhaust gas. That means the final unaccounted heat loss. So unaccounted heat loss is equal to heat supplied minus heat equivalent to break power plus heat carried away by cooling water. If they provide the data of exhaust gas, then we will calculate heat carried out by exhaust gas also, and then we will put here. But as the given data shows, there is no value for exhaust gases. So unaccounted heat will be QS minus sum of break power and water heat carried away. So it gives the value of 61.79 kilowatt. This is unaccounted heat. Unaccounted heat is the heat where we consider all heat losses, just like heat utilized to heat up the engine, piston, cylinder, heat carried out with by radiations directly, heat convected out by the surrounding air like this. Even though your lubrication oil also carried out some heat. So all these are considered as unaccounted heat. And this unaccounted heat loss will balance your heat balance sheet. Now, heat balance sheet, so it having a very standard format, and your answer should be, final answer should be this tabulation. So first part is heat supplied, as it is asked to calculate heat balance sheet on kilowatt basis. So amount of heat in kilowatt and percentage. So heat supplied is QS is equal to MF into CV, and value comes 102.18, and this is 100%. So at the last, we have to write total heat, that is heat supplied 102.18, and this is 100%. Now the second part, heat utilized, expenditure of heat, again in kilowatt and percentage. So first heat utilized in converting break power. So as it is on kilowatt basis, so we will directly take a value of break power. It is 23.76. Now this 23.76 divided by 102.18. So it will give the percentage conversion of total heat supplied. So 23.25% is converted into break power. Heat carried out by cooling water, MCP delta T, it is 16.63. So 16.63 divided by 102.18, it will give how much heat is converted or lost due to cooling water, and it is percentage 16.27. And the final unaccounted heat, because they don't provide any exhaust gas data, so we directly calculated unaccounted heat. So unaccounted heat is 61.79, and in percentage it is about 60.47%. Now, when we calculate add these total hits, as we are considered two digits, might be possible some student consider 3 or 4 digits. So when we directly add it, so at actual, this is possible that 102.18 will not be matched. It may be 102.17, like that. But at the final table, we have to blindly follow what is the total heat supplied 102.18. We must write here total heat utilized 102.18. Even though the direct addition is not matching to 102.18, but we have to write here 102.18. And again, if we add this percentage, might be possible sometime addition of all these percentage will not be exactly 100, but don't go with the addition of this, just put the value as it is from the heat supplied 102.18 100%. Here also 102.18 100%. So your heat balance sheet should be balanced at the last. Okay. So irrespective of number of digits, we have to put it is balanced. This is the answer for your heat balance sheet. Now the next problem is a six-cylinder gasoline engine. Now here this problem belongs to the number of multiple cylinder. So given data six-cylinder gasoline engine. Gasoline engine, that means a petrol engine, SI engine. Operate on the four-stroke cycle. So type of cycle is a four-stroke. Bore of each cylinder is 80 mm. So diameter of bore 80 mm and stroke is 100 mm. The clearance volume per cylinder is 70 cc. So remember the sentence saying clearance volume per cylinder. That means it is talking about each cylinder. So each cylinder, how much clearance volume is? 70 cc. Cc means cubic centimeter. So ultimately we have to convert into meter cube. This is centimeter cube. So we have to convert into meter cube. So cc is cubic centimeter. So we have to convert into cubic meter. That is a meter cube. So clearance volume is given at the speed of 400 rpm. So speed is given 4000 rpm. The fuel consumption is 20 kg per hour. So mass of fuel is given 20 kg per hour. And the torque developed T is given 150 Newton meter. And we have to calculate brake power, then brake mean effective pressure, then brake thermal efficiency and relative efficiency. Assume the calorific value of fuel. So CV is given 43000 kilojoule per kg. And the engine work on constant volume cycle. So engine working on constant volume cycle. And gamma value is given 1.4 for air. So this is our given data. Now we will calculate one by one. So first brake power. How to calculate brake power? So very well known single formula of brake power is 2 pi nt. Okay. Each time I am not pronouncing this conversion factor 60 and 1000. So it is very easy to remember that is brake power is 2 pi nt. Now here n is given. Yes, 4000 rpm is given. Torque is directly given. So we can calculate a brake power value. Now the second is brake mean effective pressure. So how to calculate brake mean effective pressure? What is the brake mean effective pressure? Indicated mean effective pressure, that means the overall pressure, constant pressure, which is assumed to develop the same pressure inside the cylinder. But when we are talking about brake mean effective pressure, so we have to use indicated power formula where we replace indicated power by brake power. So indicated power is replaced by brake power. So pressure, indicated mean effective pressure will be replaced by brake mean effective pressure. Remaining formula remain as it is. So brake power. So brake power from the answer of first we have to put here. Pressure we don't know. Stroke length it is given. So we have to convert into meter. Area. So area is pi by 4 d square bore diameter. D is given, but it is in mm, so we have to convert into meter. Then number of power stroke. For this, it is very necessary to know the type of engine. As the engine is 4 stroke, so number of power stroke will be n by 2. If engine is 2 stroke, then we have to take small n, number of power stroke is equals to n. Then number of cylinder is given, that is 6 cylinders. So we have to multiply 6. So we have the value of brake power, length, stroke length L, area, number of power stroke, number of cylinder. When we put all these values, so we come to know that how much is the pressure, and pressure unit will be Newton per meter square. Later on, you may change into bar, but whatever be the formula gives the value of pressure, it is always in Newton per meter square. Now the third point is brake thermal efficiency. So brake thermal efficiency indicates that how much heat develop inside the cylinder by burning of fuel, and out of that how much part is get converted into actual brake power. So it is a ratio of brake power to the heat generated. Now heat generated, that means mass of fuel consumed multiplied by CV. So brake power, it is already we calculated in answer of first, then mass of fuel, but the answer of first brake power, it is in kilojoule per second, kilowatt. So mass of fuel must be converted into kilojoule per, kg per second. Many times students make a mistake here. They put mass of fuel consumption as it is. So match the unit. Numerator, it is in kilojoule per second. So this is should be per second. So mass of fuel kg per second. CV kilojoule per kg is given. So once we have a mass, flow rate of fuel and CV, so it is very easy to calculate the percentage of conversion of heat into brake power. So that is brake thermal efficiency. And the last, relative efficiency. It is very rarely asked. I think only once it is asked in university exam. So relative efficiency. So relative efficiency is brake thermal efficiency divided by air standard efficiency. Now, air standard efficiency formula is different for SI engine and CI engine. This engine is gasoline engine, that's my SI engine. Brake thermal efficiency, we just calculate in answer of third. Then air standard efficiency for SI engine or petrol engine, or it is also say gasoline engine, is 1 minus 1 upon R raised to the power gamma minus 1. What is this R? R is a compression ratio. Gamma, already they provide a value 1.4. Now we have to calculate compression ratio if we want value of air standard efficiency. Now what is compression ratio? Compression ratio is a total volume divided by clearance volume. So clearance volume they provided 70. Total volume is clearance volume plus whatever be the stroke volume, or it is called swept volume. So clearance volume we know, we have to add a stroke volume or swept volume. So swept volume or stroke volume is nothing but a volume displaced by the piston, that is area multiplied by stroke length. So what is the area of cylinder? So pi by 4d square multiplied by stroke length. So it will give stroke volume. D is given 80 mm, stroke length is given 100 mm. We have to put in meter, then calculate a stroke volume. Once we know the stroke volume, put here, we get a compression ratio. Once we have a value of compression ratio, so we are easily able to calculate air standard efficiency. Put these two efficiency here, so we get a relative efficiency. So intentionally, I don't calculate the values here, okay, because I found many students directly copy the final answer, or maybe there is a variation in answer, but they just blindly follow the answer on this. So this question you have to solve and find out the values. Now the next question where we have to find out a lot of data, that is a brake power, then brake mean effective pressure, brake specific fuel consumption, brake specific air consumption, brake thermal efficiency, volumetric efficiency, and air fuel ratio. This is also a university question. So let's see what is given in statement. 8 cylinder, so number of cylinder is 8. 4-stroke engine, so type of engine is 4-stroke. 4-stroke engine of 9 centimeter bore, so D is given 9 centimeter and 8 centimeter stroke with a compression ratio 7. So they provide a compression ratio value which is 7. Is tested at 4500 RPM. So speed is given and value on a dynamometer which has a 50 centimeter arm. So 50 centimeter arm, that is a offset distance during a 10-minute test. So time period is given, that is 10 minutes. So whatever be the consumption of water or fuel, it is for 10 minutes. The dynamometer reading was 42 kg. So load already given 42 kg. Consume 4.4 kg of gasoline. So mass of fuel is 4.4 kg, but this is for 10 minutes. Calorific value is 44 megajoule per kg. We have to convert into kilojoule per kg. Air of 27 degrees centigrade and 1 bar was supplied. So whatever be the air supplied, it having a temperature 27 degree and pressure 1 bar to the carburetor at the rate of 6 kg per minute. So mass of air flow is given, that is 6 kg per minute. So remember, we have to very consciously calculate the values because mass of fuel 4.4 kg in 10 minutes, mass of air 6 kg in 1 minute. So if we require, we have to convert per second like that. So let's start how to solve one by one. So this is our given data. Now first brake power. So brake power we know 2 pi NP. N is given. Yes, 4500. N value is given. Now what about the torque? So torque is net load or force multiplied by offset distance. So weight is given 40 kg and offset distance is given 50 centimeter. It is very easy to calculate torque. Now, this question when asked in exam, maximum student make a mistake. They make a formula correct. Torque is equal to W into A. What is the unit of torque? Torque is calculated in Newton meter. Correct. So what is meter? Meter stands for offset distance. That is lever arm. It is given 50 centimeter. That's why we have to convert this 50 centimeter into meter. And this N stand for the net load. And here net load or weight is given in 40 kg. So it is not a kg meter, it is a Newton meter. So how to convert this kg into Newton? So multiply by G 9.81. So when we multiply W, that is kg, by 9.81, then we get a Newton force or net load. So here we have to convert kg into Newton, then multiply by offset distance, then we get a torque, correct torque, and then we are able to calculate the brake power. Once your brake power is wrong, everything will be wrong. Second, brake mean effective pressure. So we have to use indicated power formula, but replacing IP by BP. So here we put a brake power. So pressure will be definitely area will be pi by 4 d square. Is force brake power is wrong if you don't convert kg into Newton. So if your brake power is wrong, that means this is wrong. If this is wrong, so your second answer will be wrong. So that means even though you know all the formulas, you are doing all calculation correctly, but due to the failure of conversion of weight into Newton, your all answer will be wrong where we are using this brake power. So this is very important to convert the unit. So put the value of brake power. Everything is there. Number of cylinder, it is given 8. So when we calculate pressure, so pressure will be in Newton per meter square. Now brake specific fuel consumption. So brake specific fuel consumption, that means fuel consumption per brake power. So again, if your brake power value is wrong, So this answer will be again wrong. Brake power is calculated in kilowatt, kilojoule per second. So your mass of fuel should be in kg per second. So kg per second. That is well known. But what is the unit of brake specific fuel consumption? So remember, brake specific fuel consumption unit is calculated in kg per kilowatt hour. This is a very standard unit of brake specific fuel consumption. So that we have to calculate your brake specific fuel consumption in this unit only. Even though your mass fuel consumption is given in kg per second or kg per minute, we have to convert into kg per hour so that our final answer will be kg per kilowatt hour. So as mass flow rate of fuel is 4.4 kg in 10 minutes, convert into kg per hour, put the value here, then whatever be the brake specific fuel consumption, it will be in kg per kilowatt hour. So remember, this is very standard unit of brake specific fuel consumption. Now, brake specific air consumption. So now this time it is asked air consumption. So brake specific air consumption, mass of air consumed divided by brake power. Again, a very standard unit is kg per kilowatt hour. So brake power, it is already calculated in answer of 1. Air consumption is given 6 kg per minute. But as per the requirement of unit of brake specific air consumption, we have to convert into mass of air consumed kg per hour. Put the value here. So our final answer will be in kg per kilowatt hour. So as I said, if your first answer is wrong, brake power is wrong, then all answers will be wrong and your whole value of a question answer is 0. Now the final brake thermal efficiency. So brake power divided by total heat generated MF into CV. Brake power is in kilowatt, that is kilojoule per second, and as it is a percentage, so we have to match the unit of numerator and denominator. Mass of fuel, so we have to convert into kg per second. Calorific value, it is given kilojoule per kg. Put the values, so we will find out how much is the percentage. So again, if first answer brake power is wrong, so this also going to be a wrong. And the last, volumetric efficiency. No, second last, volumetric efficiency. Volumetric efficiency is the efficiency where we uh, compare what is the actual amount of charge or air sucked inside the cylinder and compare it with a theoretical. That means by dimension, how much volume should be inducted. But in actual, that is the volume is not inducted because during engine run, engine get heat up. So when fresh charge inducted inside the cylinder due to heat, that charge get expanded. So volume wise, it occupies the whole cylinder, but in an expanded form. So mass wise, it is less because due to expansion density decreases. So volume wise, it occupies the complete volume, but mass wise, it is less amount. So we have to calculate volumetric efficiency. So actual mass inducted is given 6 kg per minute. Now we have to calculate theoretical mass inducted. But as actual mass is in kg per minute, so theoretical should be in kg per minute. Theoretical, how to calculate mass inducted? So we must know PV is equals to MRT. So that they provide a pressure value and temperature. So pressure is 1 bar. We have to put in Newton per meter square. Temperature is 27 degree. So whenever we use this formula, we have to put temperature in Kelvin. Then R, characteristic gas constant, 287. So it is a standard value. We are interested in finding a mass flow rate theoretical. So we must find out this stroke volume. So volume is pi by 4 d square multiplied by stroke length. So it is a volume of one cylinder. When multiplied by number of cylinders, so it is a stroke volume of total engine. But this volume will be in meter cube. We have to convert per minute. So multiply by n by 2. Why n by 2 here? Because 4-stroke engine, 2 revolution, there will be only once it will induct the charge. That means after 2 revolution, only one suction stroke. So here also we have to take n by 2. So total stroke volume is pi by 4 d square multiplied by stroke length multiplied by number of cylinder. So this will be total stroke volume of engine multiplied by n by 2 as it is a 4-stroke engine. So it gives meter cube per minute. If it is a 2-stroke engine, then we will directly multiply by n. So meter cube per minute, we will put the value here. So we are able to calculate mass flow rate, that is in kg per minute. Put the values of actual and theoretical masses, so we get a volumetric efficiency. And the last one, air fuel ratio. So air fuel ratio, remember very consciously we have to attempt this question. Many times it is asked fuel air ratio. So that time we have to calculate fuel air ratio. The only difference is that numerator value. Air fuel ratio, so mass of air divided by mass of fuel. Fuel air ratio, so mass of fuel divided by mass of air. So only that is the difference. So air fuel ratio, mass of air actual divided by mass of fuel actual consumed. Mass of air it is given 6 kg per minute. Mass of fuel is given 4.4 kg per 10 minutes. We have to convert again per minute. Put the values so we get air fuel ratio. Now the second last question is based on a Morse test. So let's see. In a test of 4-cylinder petrol engine, so number of cylinder are 4, 75 bore diameter and 100 stroke length. So diameter, bore diameter is given and stroke length is given. The following result were obtained at full throttle at constant speed with a fixed setting of fuel supply of 0.082 kg per minute. So MF is given 0.082 kg per minute. Brake power with all cylinder working. So when all 4 cylinders are working, brake power is 15.24 kilowatt. Brake power with one cylinder cut off. So when all 4 cylinders are working, so brake power is 15.24. When one cylinder is cut off, that is first cylinder is cut off, so definitely only 3 cylinders are working. So total output will be reduced. So when first cylinder is cut off, our brake power is 10.45. So BP1, it doesn't mean brake power of first cylinder. It means brake power when first cylinder is cut off. So cylinder 2, 3 and 4 is working, that time brake power is 10.45. When second cylinder cut off, that time when second cylinder cut off, that means first cylinder, third and fourth cylinder is working. Brake power when third cylinder cut off, that means first, second and fourth is working, and brake power when fourth cylinder cut off, that means previous 1, 2 and 3 cylinder are working. And we have to find out total indicated power of the engine, total friction power, and indicated thermal efficiency of the engine if CV is given. So calorific value of fuel is given 44 megajoule per kg. Now total indicated power of the engine by using Morse test, obviously. So indicated power of first cylinder. How to calculate indicated power? So indicated power of first cylinder, that means brake power of all minus brake power of first cylinder cutoff. So brake power of all is given 15.24. Brake power when first cylinder cutoff it is 10.45 kilowatt. So both the values are given. Put the values, so we come to know indicated power of 1, that is 4.79 kilowatt. Then indicated power of second cylinder, so IP2. So total brake power minus brake power when second cylinder cutoff. Second cylinder cutoff value is 10.38. Even though the dimension, stroke length, lubrication, cooling is identical to all cylinders, but still there is a we said the different values for friction power and brake power and indicator power in each cylinder. So here indicated power is for second cylinder 4.86. Now indicated power for third cylinder IP3 is brake power all cylinder minus brake power when third cylinder cut off. So 5.01. Indicated power of fourth cylinder IP4 brake power all cylinder minus brake power when fourth cylinder is cut off. So it gives. So ultimately we are not using any formula to calculate IP. We are using only brake powers. So brake power all minus brake power respective cutoff cylinder. From that we are calculating indicated powers. Now we know indicated power of each cylinder, and there are 4 cylinders. So if I add all these IPs, so I get indicated power of all cylinder working. That is 19.55. So brake power when all cylinder working 15.24. Indicated power when all cylinder working 19.55. Now how to calculate friction power? So friction power is IP minus BP. IP we just calculated. BP it is given 15.24. So friction power is 4.31 kilowatt. Friction power. Now the second question, which is here I am not attempting. So I am attempting only the friction power. So I will explain. So total indicated power we calculated, total friction power we calculated. Now the indicated thermal efficiency. So what is the indicated thermal efficiency? It is indicated power divided by MF, that is fuel consumption, into CV. So indicated power we calculated. MF, so it is given mass flow rate 0.082 kg per minute. We have to convert into kg per second, and calorific value it is given 44 megajoule per kg. So convert into kilojoule per kg. So from this we can calculate indicated thermal efficiency, okay, which is not attempted in this slides. So by mistake I skip that portion. So this is total indicated power, then friction power.